Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Nolene Ebel Ame with the news. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, at an interactive session with owners of some private broadcast media outfits in Nigeria, believe that now is the right time for media practitioners to reassess their activities of promoting professionalism and national cohesion. This was when the minister led the presidential media team to an advocacy visit in Lagos. Salihu Gonara reports.
To these elated media owners, the minister and his team are indeed August visitors in the month of August. This is in furtherance of the presidential media team's advocacy visit to critical stakeholders, particularly those in the media industry. Lessons from the recent protest and the role of the private broadcast media dominated discussions.
We also know that even as you do this task of holding government to account, which is your constitutional role that you are playing, we have to have a Nigeria before we can have a functional Nigerian media. It is incumbent on us to ensure that media is in the forefront of promoting unity, conserving our collective existence, and ensuring that all of us stay in peace.
At Arise, we believe and agree that subsidy must be removed, and agree that there should be a market-driven exchange rate, but not at the same time.
We will make sure that job is done with a lot of responsibility. We'll make sure that we're also partners in progress with government. I've often told people who care to ask me that I don't belong to a political party.
Where I feel that a lot of focus should be on, and I feel this is also going to benefit media houses like us, is a regulation of some sort on all these other forms of media. These are the areas these people go to cause to wreak this havoc. That's where the insightful things come out from. They pick a very small video or very little information they have found and twist and twist and twist it.
The government image maker reaffirmed policies on local government autonomy and in critical sectors such as agriculture, health, security, and education, which are efforts towards building a strong foundation for socio-economic prosperity, particularly for the youth.
If people are asking, what has the federal government done with their money? Which is a very legitimate question to ask. People should also ask why the state governments are also doing the best. Because all of us together make what we call the Nigerian Federation.
The team crisscrossed the head offices of Arise Television, Channels Television, and Television Continental TVC in Lagos. Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu has raised concerns over the health implications of unregulated mining activities in communities in mining areas, making a passionate appeal for solutions. The president made the appeal when he received participants of course 32 of the National Defense College at the State House. State House correspondent Musbao Danwahab reports.
The solid mineral sector is getting an improved attention as the current administration strives to take its economy beyond the monocultural nature. The political will of the administration to mine the best of benefit from the sector was equally demonstrated in a presidential suggestion to the NDC Course 32 participants to join in the search for how to translate intention to action. Guided by the theme, Harnessing the Mining Industry for Enhanced National Security and Development, Strategic Options for Nigeria by 2035. After months of research within and outside the country, the course participants have come up with recommendations.
The presentation by the participants.
Strategic as the options are, the recommendations include improved layers of security for the sector as well as value addition to the minerals. President Bola Tinubu acknowledged the need for the diversification of economy through the solid mineral sector as well as proper security of the sector.
We've been pushing hard to ensure and your involvement, we equally promote better understanding and the security of area. We have challenges of scavengers and exploiters going on around the country right now. We have to be able to nip that in the bud.
But more important to the president is how to protect the health of residents and the mining environments.
We should understand that people live with the environment, and that environment is important to those who are in the area.
The value addition that was recognized in that presentation is something that is very, very important and significant in our march towards ensuring maximum benefits derivable from the solid mineral sector.
They have suggested ways and means on how to diversify our economy through solid minerals sector.
It's not all about physical security. We must be able to translate whatever it is that is happening in the mining industry into tangible outcomes that will be beneficial to the entire country, but especially the host communities where these minerals themselves are located.
The course 32 participants, which include 19 officers from across Africa, Asia, Europe and South America, have gone through 11 months of training in the National Defense College. They are the first set to make a presentation before a Nigerian president. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
The Presidential Compressed Natural Gas (CNG) initiative to power the transport sector has received another support, as it is described as the best option for the country going forward. A founder of a Nigerian Indigenous automobile manufacturing company, Innocent Chikuma, commended President Bola Tinubu's administration for the initiative intended to transform the transportation sector and cut down the costs of transportation in the country. Mr. Chikuma spoke to State House correspondent after his meeting with the president at the State House.
Because CNG, a lot of benefit on CNG, using Nigeria to use CNG. Because that benefit is what I see before I started the factory to produce vehicle on CNG. I've discussed with them, and they will see that in a short time, masses, public, will have enough CNG buses on the roads.
He joined in appealing to Nigerians to allow the president more time for his social and economic policies to yield the expected positive result.
Everything they want, they will see the better of Nigeria. They will give him a short time. Let everybody come down for him and beg in Nigeria.
Meanwhile, Minister of Niger Delta Development Abubakar Momo says ongoing cleanup of oil spills in Ogoniland is part of a broader environmental restoration program aimed to tackle decades of pollution that have ravaged the Niger Delta region. This was while briefing NTA News on developmental efforts by the Tinubu administration in the Niger Delta region. Ekenendulue has more on this.
Decades, the landscape known as Ogoniland has been marred by oil spills and environmental degradation, a sign of years of negligence. The Minister of Niger Delta Development says the period of negligence is over, as the administration of President Bola Tinubu has mobilized resources, technology and expertise to clean up the area. He noted that the ongoing cleanup initiative aims at detoxifying the soil and water while providing sustainable alternatives for the local economy.
They are doing remediation, cleaning up environment. They are planting mangrove. Then there are a lot of infrastructure. We also commissioned 2 gigantic water projects that can serve at least no matter the size of the community. So we commissioned them during the visit. And we have a number of hospitals going on, which we expected that will soon be completed.
And for the peace and serenity witnessed in the region under the present administration, the minister attributed these to the president's ability to respond to the needs of the people.
The Ogbea Nebe Road and the Okitipupa electricity substation and the 600-meter bridge in Akwa Ibom State. All of these were completed in the recent time, apart from all other smaller projects.
Abubakar Momo is urging the people of Niger Delta to keep supporting the present administration as it has huge development plans for the region. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Still on the energy, the Dangote refinery says it has never accused the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited of not supplying it with crude. The clarification becomes necessary following media reports alleging that the refinery has backtracked by acknowledging that NNPC Limited supplied about 60% of the 50 million barrels it lifted. In a statement, the Dangote refinery states that its concern has always been that the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission NURPC reluctance to enforce the domestic crude supply obligation and ensure that it receives a full crude requirement from NNPC and the IOCs. For September, Dangote refinery says its requirement is 15 cargoes, of which NNPC Limited allocated 6. Despite appealing to NUPRC, the refinery says it has been unable to secure the remaining cargoes. Consequent upon this, Dangote refinery says it's often purchased the same Nigerian crude from international traders at an additional $3 to $4 premium per barrel, which translates to $4 million per cargo. The refinery notes that it is unable to secure full crude requirement from domestic production and urge NUPRC to fully enforce the domestic crude supply obligation as mandated by the Petroleum Industry Act. From Jigawa State government is putting in place internet infrastructure to reclaim its lost glory as Nigeria's internet hub in early 2000. Governor Umar Namadi stated this while inspecting the cutting-edge internet facilities deployed at the Galaxy office in Dutse. Muhammad Musa Askira has details.
The caliber of the internet facilities deployed at the Galaxy Business Office in Dutse, Governor Umar Namadi's dream of restoring the past glory of the Jigawa in the internet service provision to government and private institutions within and outside Nigeria is on the way to fulfillment.
This time we are ready to take ourselves back to where we were before. And with this Galaxy ICT, we will continue to invest in this Galaxy ICT, and the way they are going, I think we are sure that of taking back our rightful place as the hub of ICT in Nigeria.
Already, the facility has begun providing internet services to customers and is working hard to expand the coverage for more revenue to the state government.
We provide internet service actually to government offices, all the MDAs, to organizations, and even to the individuals, not only in Jigawa State, even outside Jigawa. I remember within those years, we provide services to countries like Mali, Bamako, from here.
Governor Umar Namadi was also at the state printing press where he commends the management for a job well done.
Today you have seen the new machines they have, you can see the work they are doing, you can see that almost every printing activity can be done in that place now. So I think it's something that we will be proud of. And I was really impressed with what I have seen there.
These two places, stakeholders believe, could boost the revenue base of the state if maintained their operational tempo. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
From Dutse, we take you to Gombe, where youth of Akko local government area of Gombe State have said their loyalty to their country is not negotiable. Emmanuel Akila reports that this is with the display of Nigeria's flags when they received Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, who was at the local government headquarters to inaugurate road projects and to inspect the newly constructed hospital in the area.
The youths in Akko welcome Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's entourage flying Nigerian flag, and that they say is to reaffirm their loyalty to their country.
I have to hold it because it's my country flag and I'm proud of my country. That's why I hold it. And I don't want any violence or any crisis that will make my country to be default.
This is one of the reasons for their jubilation. The newly constructed General Hospital Kumo, which would serve as a referral facility for the primary healthcare centers in the locality. Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya also inaugurated the road projects influenced to the area by a member representing Akko Federal Constituency, Usman Bello Kumo. Then the flag off of construction of Kumo Township roads, and inspection of reconstruction of Akko Local Government Area Secretariat under the State Local Government Joint Project Initiative.
There was no option for us with regards to that hospital in Kumo, but to demolish it and start entirely a new one that will meet the earth conditions to turn it into a modern hospital. So I'm happy that we are where we are, and I urge our people to cooperate with government.
Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya rounds up his tour of projects at the palace of the Emir of Akko, where the government and the traditional institution discuss matters of development and peaceful coexistence. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Adiola Komi Akere is in our Lagos Network Center, waiting to deliver the reports we are expecting from that axis. Hello, Adiola. I guess you're on. Good evening.
Knowing one of the sectors that is taking maximum advantage of technological advancement in health, with medical experts leveraging innovation that technology offers to address various health issues, far from the fear that it often attached to its name. Nuclear medicine is one of such innovations with remarkable impact on diagnosis, staging of diseases, as well as therapy. Hingino John Adams brings us details in this report.
With the increasing number of cancer cases and other chronic diseases globally, the search for cure is still on, as researchers and other experts work relentlessly to come up with solutions. The use of nuclear medicine, a medical specialty that uses radioactive tracers to assess bodily functions, diagnose and treat diseases, is now gaining grounds.
Nuclear medicine is a game changer. For example, when we are able to inject into the joint of the patient, number one, it is minimally invasive. Number two, we are actually promoting the cells to completely restore that joint. So we actually delay and prevent patients from having joint replacement surgery, which on its own carries great complications and side effects.
Medical experts believe with the evolving role of nuclear medicine, personalized treatment and precision medicine will go a long way in reducing the pains of patients.
It is about what nuclear medicine can offer in terms of diagnostics and therapeutics. There are a lot of persons who unfortunately lose their lives because they didn't have access to good diagnostic equipment or a good diagnostic facility.
Medical experts say since early detection of diseases improves a person's chances of survival, diagnosis and treatment power of nuclear medicine should not be ignored by professionals. In Lagos, Hingino, John Adams, NTA News.
Moving on to education, Nigeria's education system has undergone several reforms from the old 6334 system, now restructured to basic 1 to 9 senior class and tertiary education. Despite the reforms, adherence to age requirement has been a thorny issue many parents have failed to comply with. In this report, Joel Bukwola examined the implications of having underage students in tertiary institutions and other levels of education.
Education, according to experts, is broken into different stages such as pre, nursery and primary schools, among others, with each stage having an age bracket for effective assimilation and ability to cope with the mental rigor. Oftentimes, parents, especially those who enroll their wards in private schools, are eager to hasten the completion, leading to admission of underage students in tertiary institutions. The implications of this, according to educationists, are far-reaching, especially on the psychological development of the students.
And we do not prepare students enough through the various tiers of the educational system for the higher level of education, we may find out that we are pushing students that are not ready and that will resort at most to shortcuts to just get the emblem, I am a graduate.
Stakeholders also bear their minds on the appropriate age for admission into the university.
You know, at 16, the maturity is not there. You know, university is an environment that you meet a lot of people. You will meet people who are older, you know. So for you to interact with such people, it will not be easy for you.
Many of them get into the university environment not prepared for the challenges that are requisite or that are required by university environment. So they probably are not cognitively developed enough. Their emotions are not ready to carry the burdens. And that's why you see that many of them get into the university system, get carried away with peer pressure, get carried away with distractions, and become liabilities.
For the avoidance of doubt, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has pegged the entry-level age for university admission at age 16. In Lagos, Joel Bukwola, NTA News.
And those are reports from Lagos for now. Nationwide will continue after this time out. Please stay with us. Welcome to Jos. Plateau State Government says its commitment to providing facilities in health institutions is to enhance effective healthcare service of the state. Governor Caleb Mutfwang stated this while receiving hospital equipment from an international agency, Widows and Orphans Foundation. Ijoma Ozomina reports.
It's worth $400,000 to cover the equipment deficit being experienced by the state specialist hospital. Governor Mutfwang, while receiving the equipment, expressed gratitude to the Widows and Orphans Foundation for the donation. The governor also appealed to other investors that the time to invest on the plateau is now, noting that efforts are being made to establish the Faculty of Medicine in the State University to boost the manpower needs of the health sector.
One of the things that is lacking due to the Japa syndrome, we have lost a lot of health personnel, and we need to rebuild that stock as soon as possible. And so the investment in medical education has become a very critical matter, and we must take it with all seriousness.
Chief Executive Officer of the Widows and Orphans Foundation, Dr. Williams, says their choice of Plateau State is not by accident.
I'm grateful, Your Excellency, for our friendship and fellowship and partnership, because not only is this the first delivery of brand new medical supplies here to the specialist hospital in Plateau State, but it is the beginning of many supplies for hospitals throughout the Plateau State.
Commissioner for Health and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Health commended the Governor and the donor agency for the collaborative efforts. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. It's back to Nolin in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Bilkisu. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has called on the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, at the Naval Headquarters Abuja to discuss a proposed naval base in the state, highlighting the state's strategic location bordering Lagos, Oyo and Ondo, and the Atlantic Ocean, as well as its proximity to Benin Republic. Governor Abiodun says these positions makes Ogun as an ideal location for a naval base. The governor expressed his desire to further strengthen ties with the Nigerian Navy in the areas of maritime security in vulnerable coastal communities, enhancing economic activities through private-public partnerships and individual prosperity initiatives. Presenting the title document of 100 hectares of land for the proposed base to the Nigerian Navy, Governor Abiodun said establishing a naval base would leverage Ogun's bitumen deposits and potential oil reserves. Elsewhere, the civil service has changed for the better, and civil servants are now more confident while working with dignity. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Emiesong, said this at a meeting with joint unions in the office to celebrate her as she leaves. Hamman Jabari reports.
As the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Emiesong, plans for her retirement this month, joint unions in the office took time to celebrate her service to the nation in the last 5 years. They say the outgoing head of service has changed the face of Nigeria's civil service and made it effective and efficient in service delivery, as well as goal-oriented. Honoring her won't be out of place. The union, chairman of the joint union who went memory lane described the reforms in the civil service initiated and implemented by Folashade Emiesong as ones that are important to the welfare and enhancement of skills of civil servants.
We want to commend her for looking at it, the FC 2021 to 2025, as a Bible of the service, and she followed it diligently. And you attest that it has given the service direction, purpose, and dignity. It is not only for us to look at the policy she has implemented, we are also looking at the welfare aspect of it.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Emiesong, commended the unions for their support over the years and urged them to do more for the incoming head of service.
I thank God that the dignity with which civil servants work is much better than before. Character is being built now among civil servants. We need to be able to lift our heads high up and be proud that we're civil servants.
And I think it speaks volumes of the relationship, of the partnership, of the collaboration that the head of civil service of the Federation has brought to bear, not only in this office, but all through the service.
The head of the civil service used the opportunity to present 2 coaster buses to the joint union and cars to 6 directors. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Now, oftentimes issues around domestic workers and their employers calls for concern, especially with the increase in crime and abuse. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are applauding the Domestic Workers and Employers Bill as key to sanitizing the informal recruitment of domestic workers to protect both domestic workers and employees in line with global best practices. Lydia Sampson has more on this.
The creation of a national domestic workers information system through a duly accredited recruitment will unlock enormous opportunities for the proposed domestic workers bill. Senator Babangida Hussaini, sponsor of the bill, believes this will be made possible with a legal framework.
We have reported cases of sexual abuse, physical abuse, no regulation or any legal framework to protect this category of workers. So In total sum, these are the issues that germinated to the development of the bill.
So we do receive a lot of complaints, regarding children being molested in homes, children being molested sexually, children being tortured, even some to death. We've had some.
Other guests are on the same page that capturing of biometrics and records of domestic workers will go a long way in curbing violence and criminal tendencies from domestic workers. In the same vein, employers, knowing the full intent of a legal framework, will be cautious not to also molest and torture their domestic workers or employ children below 18 years.
It's important that you do not take chances. The decisions you make could be your lifesaver. But people make these critical decisions without any intentionality. They just think it's a minor thing, and it has cost lives.
They are optimistic that with more prosecution and punishment of persons culpable, the domestic workers-employees relationship might be genuinely sanitized for a win-win operation. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
About 550 orphans in Argungu Emirate have received financial support of 5,000 naira each from the wife of the Kebbi State Governor, Hajia Zainab Nasare Nasir Idris. Hassana Abubakar Koko reports that the gesture is to complement their livelihood.
Can provide orphans with access to essential necessities like food, shelter, clothing, and more, ensuring they live in a comfortable and secure environment. Recognizing this, the wife of Kebbi State Governor attended a feeding program organized by a charity group supporting orphans in Argungu. Hajia Nasare emphasized the importance of supporting vulnerable children and ensuring their access to basic necessities. Nobody here is exempted from assisting orphans. Presence of orphans in any community is a test to us from Allah to see how we will treat them. The Emir of Argungu, Alhaji Samaila Muhammad Mera, noted that this is an annual program underscoring the ongoing commitment to supporting vulnerable children in the community. He appealed to other well-meaning individuals to emulate the gesture and contribute to the welfare of orphans.
Our call is for the government to take over the 200 capacity orphanage and maintain it to a standard that we as a community cannot really do, because there is need for constant medical care.
Beneficiaries who were selected from various orphanages and vulnerable groups expressed heartfelt gratitude for the support, which they say will significantly improve their lives. The governor's wife also donated 1 million naira to the charity group. From Argungu, Kebbi State, Hassana Abubakar Koko, NTA News.
We shall now join Comfort Ayim in our Enugu Network Center for more on Nationwide. Comfort, you're on.
Good afternoon and welcome to Enugu. Enugu State Government has flagged off over 5 billion naira worth agro-input distribution and social intervention initiative for indigent people in the state. Jigawa reports that over 12,000 rural farmers will benefit from the initiative.
The state governor described agriculture as a major sector that generates economic growth and stability of any country. The move by the state government, in collaboration with the federal government, is not just to provide smallholder farmers the needed inputs to empower them, but also to upscale production for food security and exportation. In addition to the 12,000 bags of fertilizer by the federal government, 51 power tillers, cassava stem, rice and bean seedlings, organic fertilizers, herbicides, among others, were distributed. The state government is also disbursing the sum of 60,000 naira to 16,000 owners of nano enterprises and financial support of 40,000 naira for 187 beneficiaries under the MSME intervention. 7.5 million naira has been awarded each to 10 technology startups.
In 135 communities where we will build public toilets We would also provide boreholes at each of those public toilet centers.
To ensure that the inputs are properly distributed to eligible farmers, a proper calculated database was introduced to capture the over 12,000 beneficiaries.
This event is one of the crucial steps towards fulfilling the promises made by His Excellency.
The move to end open defecation is a strategic partnership with Nigerian COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program, facilitated by FADA. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Anambra State government has stepped up measures towards sustaining action against hunger in the state with the launch of Operation Farm to Feed. Governor Chukwuma Soludo flagged off the program at a farm in Amansi, Oka North local government area. The report is here presented.
The Operation Farm to Feed initiative, which is a partnership deal to end hunger within the next 12 months, is to encourage the people of the state to venture into farming, which Nigeria was known for before the era of oil boom. Governor Soludo stated that while some states are protesting against hunger, Anambra is turning the challenges into opportunities and solutions. He highlighted some initiatives already put in place to tackle hunger presently and in the future, to include the distribution of millions of cash crops, while expressing readiness to collaborate with organizations and work out modalities that will celebrate farm champions in the state.
Every year we lament about hunger, and it is now time to do something. Let's turn farming, agriculture as a new national pride. Operation Farm, Operation Show Your Farm. If you can't feed the nation, at least feed yourself or even your family for just one day by what you can produce.
Stakeholders gave testimonies of gains derived from farming.
Anambra is blessed with a governor whose mind is ever viral and working. Something that will make a difference, that will bring comfort in this time of hardship.
By that end of 2020, we were able to produce sesame seed that we can call made in Anambra and process and produce in Anambra State.
Farming is a good thing, and Mr. Governor is here to introduce Anambra into the best of the best. Food is life.
Highlights include the symbolic planting by the governor, his wife and others, as well as demonstration of how to farm even in the dry season and within one's compound. In Oka, Joy Iluebu, NTA News.
And that's a package from Enugu Network Center. It's back to Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Welcome back to Abuja on Nationwide. Out of the over 8 billion people in the world, everyone is set to be traced to an indigenous root, which forms their unique identity and culture. Tessie Omeri in this special report relates this with the 2024 World Indigenous People Day.
Now, a day like this reminds people of their roots and cultural heritage, but beyond it is the need to cherish and promote it for generations yet unborn. For instance, the attire I'm wearing is of the Kwararafa indigenous people, depicting the rich cultural heritage over centuries. Aside these beautiful attires, other interesting attributes of the indigenous people is that they safeguard 80% of the biodiversity due to their control of land and forest. Unique dance steps, cuisines, morals, and values. All these need to be preserved for posterity.
Except for a day like this, that people will begin to now go back to their history. Certainly, sooner than later, we discover that the people may even forget where they come from. Even the ordinary simple language you discover now in your house because of the exigencies of time.
Rural-urban migration has taken place. As we have internal migration, we have international migration. Indigenous people must be respected because they own the land and it is their land. and we must be able to respect them. We can't come from different places and come and displace the people who are indigenous to the community. And this again brings about the question of tolerance. We must be able to tolerate one another.
Aside the annual observance, stakeholders are advocating for more.
Now we made it a law now. And I think that is what other tribes in FCT have made it. That for every tribe in FCT, if you are marrying my daughter, out of the attire which is compulsory should be the local Gwandera costume.
For the over 371 indigenous tribes in Nigeria, the cultural diversity speaks volume. For the indigenous peoples of the FCT, blessed with 9 tribes, they are using the annual observance to call for more recognition, taking cognizance of this year's theme, protecting the rights of indigenous peoples in voluntary isolation. While Nigeria celebrates Indigenous Peoples Day, stakeholders are saying that there is need for the country to leverage its cultural diversity to promote peace and unity of the nation. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Tessie. And still speaking on our rich cultural heritage, Osogbo, the Osun state capital, played host to thousands of Osun goddess devotees and tourists from across the world who gathered for the grand finale of the popular Osun-Osogbo festival. Correspondent Muiwa Omoumi covered the event, and his report is hereby presented.
Entry of the votary maiden, a symbol of purity and hope, into Osun-Osogbo Grove signaled the climax of this year's Osun-Osogbo festival. Osun State Governor Senator Adbola Adeleke, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Honorable Teslim Igbalaye, reiterated the commitment of government to supporting cultural initiatives that promote on a global stage. Dignitaries see the festival as a period to honor the Osun goddess of fertility and also for believers to ask for her blessings.
Osun is a mother of all. She contributes to the foundation of the city of Osogbo. She prevents invaders of Fulani war.
What we do with Osun-Osogbo is a settlement of covenant. It's an agreement between the leaders of Osogbo, who are Obas, and the city.
This festival is very, very beautiful, amazing festival.
My DNA, I looked back to my ancestors praying, and it led me here. And there are a lot of people in the States that celebrate Osun, that are starting to become aware of the power of the tradition.
The festival, which spanned 2 weeks, had activities of rituals, processions, and cultural performances.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has lauded the donation of 1 billion naira to the federal government's food support program and 4,600 units of digital devices for distribution to schools by MTN Nigeria. Vice President stated this when he received the chairman of MTN Nigeria, Ernest Ndukwe, on a courtesy visit at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Shettima said the gesture by the telecommunications outfit towards the government's effort in addressing hardship in the country is worthy of emulation and indicative of its commitment to the development of the country. The donation by the company Shettima promised will be judiciously managed by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment and the Office of the National Security Advisor. On the distribution of 4,600 digital devices, each pre-installed with the U-Lesson application, the Vice President said the MTN team will liaise with his office to work on the beneficiary criteria and facilitate the distribution of the devices to secondary schools in the 6 geopolitical zones. The chairman of MTN Nigeria commended the federal government for its efforts to revive the economic fortunes of the country through various initiatives rolled out across ministries, departments and agencies of government. On the 1 billion naira donation, the MTN Nigeria chairman Ndukwe said its aim at supporting the most vulnerable, marginalized and underserved communities, ensuring no one is left behind, through increased collaboration and partnership with the federal government of Nigeria. Up next is sports news.
It's a tale of disappointment as Nigeria medal hopeful Tobi Amusan crashed out of the 100 meters hurdles event at the ongoing Olympic Games in Paris. The Nigeria and world champion Tobi came third in the semi-final of the event in a time return of 12.55 seconds, which is not good enough to qualify her for the final. Also, Nigeria 4x400 meters men team, though made it to the final, but was disqualified for lane violation. Likewise, two-time Olympian Elizabeth Ayanacho crashed out of the games after she lost 1-2 to China's Song Ji in the taekwondo event. And as the games gradually winds down, medals events across different sports are scheduled for Friday. Joy Eze will fly the flag of Nigeria in the 71 kg class of women weightlifting event. In another development, 4 weeks to 2 qualifying matches, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are yet to have official handlers since the exit of Finidi George. The Super Eagles will take on their counterparts from Benin Republic and Rwanda ahead of the next AFCON tournament. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
On a solemn note, Tinubu mourns former CAF President Issa Hayatu, describes it as loss to the world of football. And on this note, that we conclude Nationwide today. Thank you very much for watching. I am Nolin Belame. Have a lovely evening.